Dr. V, I'd like a second opinion. What is the standard treatment protocol for a horizontally fractured root at the cervical level in the front? Oh, wow. In a front tooth that already has an old crown and a previous root canal. Should I read it again? Did you get that?
Yeah, I
Okay,
did.
all right.
I was paying attention, ma'am.
Oh no, because I stumbled, so I didn't know.
Okay, all right. So, what the whenever you have a fracture of a tooth, is it possible to fix that fractured tooth? Yeah, it is possible. But when it is fractured beyond the degree whether salvaging is an option or not, and that's what we are talking about. So what we are talking about is, imagine a tooth that is completely broken, and I don't know how well you guys can see it. This actually is a model of a tooth which you have, like a broken, or not broken, a prepared tooth, which is very, very tiny. But even smaller than that, you have a stump that is just completely broken at the gum line, what you're talking about. So when you have a tooth that is completely broken at the gum line, and years ago, and this I'm talking about like 25, 30 years ago, we used to die hard to try and salvage the tooth at that time, because that is the only option that we had available. We used to do root canals, and then we used to do crown lengthenings, and then now you got a tooth that you're able to put on. Now after all of this, then we got a big mismatch, because we got to push the gum line up on the fractured tooth, and one tooth looks normal and then the other tooth looks like really long because of all the procedure that you have to go through. But now, with the technology that we have available, which is the dental implant, it is very easy for us to extract the tooth, put an implant right away, and even put the crown on the same day, and make the smile appear as natural as it can be. So that's what the technology can offer. So based on what I'm hearing from you, if you have a tooth that is fractured at the cervical line, which means like it is at the gum line, my recommendation would be to remove the tooth and replace the tooth with a dental implant. However, having said that, is it possible to do alternative treatment? Yes, it is possible to do an alternative treatment. The other one would be to remove the tooth and do a bridge, like cutting the two teeth on either side, again, which is not my recommendation. And the third and the last option would be, or one other option would be to do the root canal and then the crown lengthening, and then you can have a crown on the top of that with the guarded prognosis, which means you can't really, or you really don't know how long this tooth is going to last. And then the other option is just leave the tooth alone. You risk risk infection, because you're going to leave a fractured tooth in line in the mouth, and then you can get a flipper, like a flipper tooth on the top of tooth. You can wear on the top of a fractured tooth right there, so you can do that too. But you run the risk of infection.
That's right. We don't want to go that route, but so many options.
Absolutely, yeah.